So, hello and thank you for joining this webinar about data management. My name is Tobias and I work as a business intelligence consultant at the Information Lab Germany. What we love to do is to help people understanding their data. To us, understanding your data means that you can only generate insight if you are able to ask critical questions at the right time. From what we have learned in our years as data consultants is that having a structured data management is one of the crucial time-saving factors when it comes to building a data-driven environment. So before we really start with the content, a few words regarding the structure of this webinar. First, to get to know you a little bit better, we will have a little poll. Then I will provide you with a feeling for data management and why it's important. And after that, I will show you how easy it is to achieve once the add-on is installed on your Tableau server. And we'll have a little question and answering session afterwards. So let's get on to the first poll. All right. We're now at 80% participants, and I think we have a good view about how much time you spend on data management, on organizing your data. So the majority is above 50% even, and that's quite a lot on your daily work. All right. So now, if you've worked with dashboards on your organization's Tableau Server environment before, you know how and where to ask these critical questions I mentioned before. Maybe you've already set your own landing page or made a subscription to your favorite KPI dashboard. You report weekly to your boss, who will then derive crucial business decisions from it. A few weeks into the new reporting, you then find out that the data source you based those weekly reports on is the dummy data source the analyst department set up to test some calculations on a new dashboard. This could be one case in which data management would prove as a valuable ally in fighting this. Another case could be this mess of Excel files you see on the screen, which you also might have seen in your own environment. So what's the current and, more importantly, what's the correct version of the file? Well, essentially, we can't say at one look. So now let me put this rather rhetorical question into your mind. Would you trust a report or any insight built on one of those files? Or, to put it in a more dramatic way, do you trust your data? Maybe this hints already to my point, which is the importance of managing your data. First off, your data is your organization's past, present, and future, as it largely determines the path of decision-making within your organization. For example, you look at historical data to see how different business measures performed, how you perform in comparison to your competition, or how the SEO optimization of that pink bathrobe performed against the lemon beige one. You look at data of the present, daily reports, stock market data, weather data, to determine ad hoc business decisions for the future. And, of course, you also create and look at forecasts, trying to predict the future path of your organization. which could be predictive analytics, for example. So, as a natural conclusion, with great data comes great responsibility. If you've worked a bit with the data visualization tool like Tableau, then you know about its intuitive yet powerful way to communicate with data. One quick and easy bar and bar chart, for example, can shift a business decision for the better or the worse. But data is more than just numbers. It's part of an organizational culture of questions, curiosity, and learning. That's why you not only have to trust your data, but you also have to build trust among the employees across the hierarchy of your organization. As mentioned before, multiple data sources, a miscommunication between files, so to say, will lead to pure data chaos. But miscommunication can also happen on a more personal level. Imagine Steve from accounting builds his reports on a dataset hidden somewhere in his work computer's file system. At a lunch meeting with his boss and the department, he finds out that he had always missed Susan's dataset in his calculations and therefore created false conclusions. Well, as it happens, Susan also likes to work more privately, although just one desk apart. She uses to save her insight on her private disk too. Those cases of miscommunication on the very important data governance level might be a dangerous, albeit unknown problem in some organizations. Well, up until the day a crucial decision is made on the ground of false data, or up until the day the Steve of your organization presents his data to you. So, what I just told you on the last slide can be summarized as the 3 pillars of data management: treasure, trust, and transparency. As said before, your data is your treasure, your capital, and your future. Companies like Amazon, Facebook, or Google base their entire business model on data. The retail industry is discovering the importance of tracking customer data. And nowadays, every little app or every new app on your phone requires a slice of your personal data pie as a currency or as a payment. So the data is not only a treasure for yourself, it is also a treasure to others. Now, what we've learned from the Indiana Jones movie series is that treasures should be well guarded. Having a centralized and protected governed solution, for example with a permission-based access system, will provide you with more nights of good sleep than a mixed version of Excel files saved on each and every employee's desktop, as you have seen before. This leads us to trust. Maybe you're responsible for building the new analytics department in your organization. Or maybe you base your decisions on reports you receive from analytics. However you get in contact with your organization's data, you would rather want to trust it. If you can trust your data, you can trust one data source that is curated by, for example, the data engineering department, equipped with a solid description, a lineage, and, for example, a version number. You just know where it comes from. You know that you can prove that every morning at 5, this data source will be automatically refreshed, providing you with the ability to question your data without questioning its integrity. Well, when it comes to trusting people, we are almost always driven by a subjective feeling, or a gut feeling, which determines if or if not a person is trustworthy. When it comes to data, it should not be that way around. Trust in data is created through transparency. If you and every employee know about the content of the data and your effort in creating and maintaining a transparent data governance structure, then the analysts will have one source to build reports upon. The employees can safely present their dashboard insights in a client meeting, and the CEO of your organization knows that his organization or her organization is basing its brick road of forecasting on a curated data source, rather than a mosaic of 1,000 Excel files. So, as a wrap-up, implementing a data-driven culture into your organization means creating and understanding those 3 pillars. Implementing it successfully means maintaining them. To some extent, maintenance is not the most exciting job on earth. And as said before, the maintenance of various Excel files can be a personal pandemonium, blocking several hours of your productive workday. Luckily, with the data management add-on, the Tableau Server turns into this mentioned great companion, helping us to organize this situation, turning the data mess we've seen before into data heaven, and blocked hours into productive work hours. Ultimately, this saves resources, which translate into saved time and saved money. So now you know about building a trustful relationship to your data. It's time to take a quick look at the data management add-on itself and how it will perform on our Tableau server. Therefore, I will first show you a quick content overview before we head over to a demo on our Tableau server. So the data management add-on hosts 2 modules, the Tableau Catalog and the Tableau Prep Conductor, which I will show you in action in a bit. The Tableau Catalog on the left side is the place where you can find all your data sources divided into databases and tables, and they're all used on the Tableau server. You will get a quick overview on the impact a data source has with the workbook count you can see, the workbooks and sheets it's used in, it's called lineage on the Tableau Data Management add-on, and finally the ownership. If you're, for example, a data engineer and have reason to believe your data is in bad shape, you can even set up a commented maintenance mode with a warning to all current and future users of the data source. So how are this data source created, you might ask? Some are straight out of SAP, while others might be curated SQL queries drawing from your Oracle database. Essentially, it could be everything Tableau can connect to. On the right side, we have the Tableau Prep Conductor. Maybe you've heard already about Tableau Prep Builder. It's a visual data preparation tool, just like Alteryx, Nime, or Talent, which is included in your Tableau desktop license. With it, you can manage replicable and understandable data preparation workflows, resulting in data you can further use in your visualization or analytics process. This visual end-to-end process lets you spot, or other users spot, potential errors like a false join or a misspelling or a false select on the fly, and increases, therefore, the confidence in your own analysis. Combining the Tableau Prep Builder with the Tableau Prep Conductor add-on, you're now enabled to set up schedules and tasks for those workflows you've created on your desktop, on your Tableau server. Workflow tasks and schedules, therefore, will keep your data sources updated. In other words, they replace the manual Monday kickoff for an organization's data update with a reliable and easy to maintain server-side solution. Now, to create a safe data environment, permissions are key. As mentioned before, your data is the treasure of your organization. With role-based permissions, the Tableau Server provides you with an easy to set up solution to govern it. Here, you see those permission structures for sheets, for data, and for workflows, with the role options in the dropdown and the corresponding permissions like view, edit, download, or delete on the right side. For example, if we look at the data source, you have a connector, you have the editor. At a workflow, you have the runner, which can only run and view the workflow, or the editor, which can essentially edit the whole workflow or delete it. And at the sheet, you know the viewer, the interactor, and editor maybe from your Tableau Server license. Of course, this is just a basic example of permissions, which also differs from case to case. The Tableau Server offers a wide variety of permissions, from user groups to projects, which is best discussed essentially with your analytics or IT department. So, to provide you with a more haptic feeling about how the Tableau Catalog and the Prep Conductor could be beneficial for your organization, I will show you a short demo on our Tableau Server. The role of the user you're about to see is editor, which means that this user can edit the data source, the workflow, and the sheet or dashboard. So everything you see here, the user is about or able to do. As a data engineer, for example, you might only want to change the data preparation workflow or the connection to a data source. As a data analyst, you might just want to change the sheet or run the workflow. So it's always a role-based permission situation. So let's log in to the Tableau Server. Oh, just a second, I got the notification that my audio went missing. That's great. Okay, I don't know where I entered. Just a second. All right, then I will show you this again. So we are now in the project folder of the Tableau Server. We have the sheet, the two data sources, and a sample workflow, all built upon the Superstore sample data. If we click in the Superstore workflow, we see the workflow created in Prep. This is essentially a screenshot of the in Prep created workflow in the Tableau Prep Builder. We see the input files, which are essentially, in this case, CSV files, I guess, but can also be live connections to your database. In this case, could be Hadoop, Oracle, or AWS. We see the data preparation steps. In this case, remove nulls, fix data type, rename states. And we see two output nodes, which will put the data source on our Tableau Server in this case. So I showed you before how to create a new task. You can essentially select all the output nodes or just one of it, and then select a time schedule which you seem fitting the most. So now we'll add another schedule and take every night at 11 p.m. Create this task and see it in my scheduled tasks. Should be in my scheduled tasks. There it is. So now when I click on lineage, I see which data source is affected by this workflow, which workbook is affected by this workflow, and which data source or sheet owner is affected when I change something in my workflow. So I immediately know whom to contact when I change a column in my workflow or in my data source, and create therefore a very transparent and quick communication. The same is true for the data source itself. If we click here on lineage, we see also the owners, the sheets, the workbooks, the mentioned flow, and the tables this data source relies upon. But we also can see, if we, for example, click on customer name, the data details. Here we see a description, if it's hidden, and the data category, the data type, the role, the aggregation, and connected columns. So again, if you're a user, you want to look at available data, know what data sources are in your analysis, or who you have to contact with questions regarding the data source. As a data engineer, on the other hand, you will want to see the metadata, the opportunity to name, describe, and set a status, see every data detail. For example, a status could be the data warning I showed you without audio, could be the quality warning. We enable the warning, we have warning deprecated stale data under maintenance, and we can set this data source to maintenance, for example, to say hello to the data engineering department. And you want to see its lineage as the data engineer. You want to know who will be affected if you add a column to data source A, if you delete data source A, and who do you have to contact if you change something. So this replaces essentially wikis or mass emails nobody reads, and you can distribute the information just to the right recipients. So we will now go on with another poll. Just a second. All right, thanks for answering that. It paints a good picture about the field we are working in. Thank you. So as a final wrap up, thanks for listening today. I hope you had some fun, and sorry for the audio issue in the end. And I hope you gained some more insight on how data management can be beneficial for data-related processes in your organization. You can see it as a tool to support your daily work, but also as a support for the trust in your data. If you want to try it out yourself or get more information, don't hesitate to contact us through our website or email address, which you're about to see here.